report. Put it together just the other morning. I was actually in there having a cup of coffee and was like, we got to check on old Cowboy Ray here, all right, and see what's going on with him. Obviously, this is Jacob Bayer out of Arkansas State. I know we uncovered this gem of a picture here with the cowboy hat when they first announced he was going to be a top 30 visit. So smaller school. This was a real fun read, man. Let's dive into it here. It says Jacob Bayer scouting report. The Green Bay Packers reportedly scheduled a top 30 visit with Arkansas State center Jacob Bayer, according to posts on X, making him one of the latest prospects to meet with the team ahead of the 2025 draft. Who impressed at the Senior Bowl, joins a growing list of pre-draft visitors as the Packers evaluate options to bolster their offensive line with additional visits planned as the draft nears. All right, and here's what it says. 3-star recruit from Boerne, I hope I'm saying that right, high school in Texas. Imagine that. He's from Texas. In the 2020 class, Jacob Bayer was a versatile lineman known for his tenacity and football IQ. Scouts pegged him as fundamentally sound blocker with a strong base capable of playing multiple positions. That answers the question right there, boys. While not an elite athlete, his work ethic and technique earned praise, and he ranked number 108 among interior offensive linemen in the final Rivals ranking before enrolling at Arkansas State. It goes on to say college statistics. Bayer's 5-year career at Arkansas State saw him log over 2,900 snaps, primarily at center. In 2024, he started all 12 games, allowing 1 sack and 10 pressures across 732 snaps per PFF. His run blocking stood out, ranking 5th among FBS centers with an 82.1 grade, while his pass blocking efficiency placed him 38th over his career. He started 42 games, earning all Sun Belt honors in 2023 and 2024, though a torn ACL in 2019 delayed his early development. Goes on to say, detailed scouting report entering the draft at 6'2" 3/8" and 302 pounds per Senior Bowl measurements. Bayers brings a sturdy frame with a 78 1/8 inch wingspan and a jolting punch with 10 3/8 inch hands. His strengths lie in run blocking, where his wide base and upper body power displace defenders on double teams and inside zone plays. That sounds familiar, don't it? In pass protection, he anchors well against bull rushes, using a double under technique to stall power rushers. His 5.10 second 40-yard dash at the Senior Bowl reflects below average agility, but his quick hands and football IQ compensate. Concerns include limited lateral range and struggles against speed rushers, making him a scheme-specific fit, ideally in a gap or inside zone system. He projects as a high-end backup or low-end starter with guard/center versatility. Injury and character concerns. Bayer's most significant injury was a torn ACL in 2019, which sidelined him for his freshman year, but he's since played 42 consecutive starts. I repeat, 42 consecutive starts without major issues. Suggesting resilience, his 2024 tape showed no lingering effects, though his shorter stride raises minor long-term wear questions. Character-wise, Bayer has a clean slate, no suspensions or off-field incidents reported. Coaches laud, however you say it, his leadership, evidenced by his 2-year captaincy at Arkansas State, and his Senior Bowl participation reflects a strong work ethic. It says here, Bayer's draft projection spans the 4th to 6th rounds. Analysts see him as a day 3 pick, with Bleacher Report slotting him around number 140. Overall, due to his polish and positional flexibility, mock drafts peg him as a fit for teams like the Packers, who value linemen with grit, potentially in the 120 to 160 range. A strong top 30 visit could nudge him into the late 4th. Otherwise, he's likely a 5th-round target for a team needing interior depth. I kind of like this guy, Tim. The more you read up on him, man, 2-year captain, played 42 consecutive starts, a little bit of a mauler, got some versatility. When we first seen this, it was like, whoa, we're going to draft a center after we move E to center? But now it's becoming clear. Let him sit behind E, and you got that versatility to potentially play guard along the way too. So
look at that guy, man. Arkansas State. You're telling me he ain't gonna look good on the line with with Nacho Libre, Sean Ryan out there. Come on now.
Look at that guy right there.
Here's the guy.
That mullet has broken so many hearts. I'm just telling you right now, man. Ain't no two ways about it. What do you think about Jacob Bayer, man? What do you think about a nice little 4th-round pick? We got a pretty good track record taking offensive linemen late in the draft like that, right?
I was just gonna say, let's not reach. If he's hanging around there, you can do a lot worse. And I think like you said, the consensus between all of us fans who don't know what the hell we're talking about is
that's me.
Is Big E's moving to center, right? It's a foregone conclusion. Well, it doesn't mean you don't draft a guy behind him, and right. This gentleman right here certainly looks like he fits the bill, right?
Yep. No doubt about it, man. Let's see. Greg Rice, to multiple positions, the Packers often prioritize athleticism, size, and arm length, their offensive line selections, which allows them to develop players into roles that best suit the team's needs. I don't know, man. This guy I have a hunch he's going to be a Packer after the draft. Yeah. We're going to be hitting that a lot, too, if we make that pick live from the draft party. So, anything else on our boy Jacob Bayer? Well, let me hit this real quick. Fred McFarley says Monk, and we know exactly what he means, right? Jacob Monk.
Jacob Monk.
That's the thing. Like, to me, Jacob Monk isn't like a slam dunk. I was amazed at how people talked about him being, hey, that's the guy who's going to step in and play for Myers after Josh Myers leaves, because we haven't seen him, right? Now, we know the Packers liked him a lot, but if you take a Jacob Bayer, imagine that camp battle, Tim. Imagine backup center. If E does go to center, like all the reports are saying, if E goes to center, imagine that camp battle for backup center between someone like a Jacob Bayer and a Jacob Monk. Yep. That would be a blast, man. That would be absolutely.
And then you get the added caveat of one or both of them being a backup guard for you as well.
And I kind of feel like Jacob Monk is more of a pure center. However, if Jacob Bayer comes in and goes, okay, man, we like them both. They both make the roster. If you spend a draft pick on them, you're probably going to let them make the roster anyway.
Yep.
Kick him into guard, leave Jacob Monk as your backup center because it was close enough, and let's just build him up as this guard. And then when you look up in a couple of years and he's, gone because he's approaching 30, if he's not 30 already, right, then one of those two guys wins the center job, or you draft another center, and who knows, maybe someone like a Bayer or a Monk could step into one of those guard roles. It could happen. I kind of feel like if Rasheed Walker tries to break the bank on the Packers, they're going to look to put Jordan Morgan at left tackle, his true position he played his entire life. I don't know, something in the back of my mind is like they may just let him walk in free agency, get a nice little comp pick. Because I think Ryan said it on his pod, Rasheed Walker was the 10th best pass blocker last year in all of pro football. So
all the more reason to draft a guy like this, right?
Yeah.
And then, we got Aaron Banks now. We just made that free agency pickup. So you've got a little depth there on your interior. If you had to pivot away from Rasheed for some reason, we've got 1 to 3 guys that we could, try out at that spot. So I think it does. This Jacob Bayer makes a lot of sense, especially like you're saying 4th or 5th round or something if he's hanging around.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Lynn seems to agree. That might be the plan there, right? Could be. SDM40 says, I'm still not buying Jenkins the center is set in stone. I don't think anything's set in stone at this point.
I agree.
Now, if you come out of the draft and you don't like what you did at the center position in that regard, I think he's the top candidate. I mean, that's what all the reports are coming out of Green Bay. So
we'll see how we feel around the end of August, see how camp plays out a little bit and what they're cooking up. But I agree with SDN 40. I mean, I'm buying that Jenkins to center seems to make the most sense, but I don't think it's set in stone right now. It's too early.
Absolutely, man. And again, like going into camp, there's going to be some fun camp. Here's the other thing I'm going to say, guys. It's like, it's not us, but many people, I think that many Packer fans just assume there's no chance we take an offensive lineman with that 23rd pick. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if the right guy falls. And here's a little tease for what we'll cover tomorrow if we have time. And you guys can go ahead and get a sneak peek at it if you want and get kind of brushed up on it. We got an article put together, the top offensive tackles to watch in the 2025 draft. We did the same thing we did with the corners, everybody that fell in the top 100. So if you remember the Patreon group, you already got access to that. Dive in there. Tell me what you think. We break everything down in order. We got their RAS scores and give kind of just a little where they're projected. That was a lot of fun seeing where all these guys are going to be projected. So it's just what we're doing, Tim. They didn't even realize it, but we're putting our own draft guide together.
Yep.
In the plans, but that's what we're doing. It's been a lot of fun. So, but yeah, that's something I don't think is out of the question of them potentially drafting an offensive lineman at 23 and just continuing to bolster that up. And now you can really let Rasheed walk. Or who knows, man? What if a strong, what if a really, really solid tackle falls to the Packers at 23 and, hey, that's going to be your starting left tackle, and they put Rasheed on the trade block? Like, who knows what you could get for Rasheed, right?
Yeah.
I like Rasheed. I want him to be a Packer. I just don't know if I like Rasheed to the tune of 25 to 35 million a year, because that's what left tackles are going for that are good pass blockers like him. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Packers have never paid more than 2 offensive linemen, top offensive lineman money, if that makes sense, or what I call starter level money. Okay,
right.
So E's under contract. It would take you're going to be putting Zach Tom under contract. We know that's a done deal, right tackle, right?
Yep.
They're going to do everything to keep him and pay him top money. So if you got Elton getting paid top money, you got Zach Tom who's going to be getting paid top money, or you're going to pay a third offensive lineman top money. They could do it, but to the best of my knowledge, it's never happened. Like you had Chad Clifton, who was making darn good money, right? And then they draft Brian Bulaga to try to replace him. That didn't work out. And they kick him over to right tackle because Tauscher got hurt. This is way back in the day. I'm dating
Yep.
now.
Yep.
If I'm remembering this correctly, y'all correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, okay? So Bulaga goes to right tackle. Clifton gets banged up. What did they end up doing? They drafted a young guy by the name of David Bakhtiari.
Yep.
Now you're on a contract again. So in that situation, they paid Brian Bulaga a second contract, so that's one player that was getting paid good money, right?
And didn't they restructure Josh Sitton as well around that time?
I'm trying to think of when they let Josh Sitton go, because that one blew me away that they just cut him training camp, whatever it was. The point is they've paid 2 starter money, but I don't think they've ever paid 3 offensive linemen starter money. So if Zach Tom's going to be getting paid starter money, Elton Jenkins is going to be getting paid starter money.
Where does Rasheed Walker fall in? Yeah.
Or you move on from Elton Jenkins, you pay Rasheed, and now hopefully you've got your center of the future taken over, right?
And she's under contract through 26.
That's a good question. I should know the answer to that. I'm gonna look it up real quick, Tim.
26. Because what would really throw a wrench into things is if Sheed comes out and has an All-Pro season.
Oh yeah.
Now we're all like, okay,
let's keep him.
Yeah,
right. That's the guy you move forward with.
Yep.
He's going into the final year of his contract, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, 2025.
So if they don't make a move, then it's going to be he's auditioning for that next contract for sure this year.
Absolutely, man. And there's pretty much no guaranteed money with it, right? So the cap hit is $3.2 million, but it's all base salary. I mean, yeah. You got to steal at left tackle. There's no 2 ways about it, man. That dude is, yeah. So, and that's a great point there. John Smith already paying Banks as well.
Yep.
Already forgot about
Banks is getting money too. Yep.
So, yeah. So you've got 2 guys making starter money. Yep. So when you pay Zach Tom, that would be a threat. Sheed, you can't pay Sheed, right? Like, what am I missing here? I mean, you could try to cut costs somewhere else, but you know what I mean?
Right. I don't know, front load a contract for him or something. Try and, make it sweet. But yeah, it's going to be tough because Zach Tom's going to get the bag. He's got it. Yep.
Yeah. Coach Lynn asked the question, can Zable play left tackle? It's my understanding, Coach, that Dre Zable blew people away at the Senior Bowl. They tried him all over that line in practice, and he dominated. He was the best center there. He was one of, if not the best guards there. And when he played tackle, he impressed. So it's my understanding he can play tackle as well. Dre Zable is that kind of that Swiss Army knife. If you draft him, man, I'm a little lower on Dre Zable than most people. Some people got him. You guys will see that in the article over the Patreon group. If you scroll down, he's definitely on that article. And his projection doesn't match where I've got him on the board, but I'm in the minority there. There's a lot of people, Tim, that think Dre Zable's a first-round pick.
Yeah. I mean, North Dakota State certainly felt like he could play tackle. 961 snaps last year at left tackle. In 23, he played 686 snaps at right tackle and then 211 snaps at left guard. So he's kind of moved, interior and on the outside as well. So, I mean, just judging by college career, I mean, clearly he can play tackle. It's left to be determined what he can do at the pro level, but graded out at a 90.4 last year, playing a lot of left tackle. Man. So,
yeah, stud. And again, the latest mocks on the mock draft database are suggesting a mid to late first round pick for Dre Zable. Now, again, that's a whole bunch of media members doing mock drafts, so it's not like we don't know for sure, but it seems like the buzz matches up. Coach Lynn says he looks good on the interior for sure at the Senior Bowl. Yeah. That's where he's going to make his hay for sure. Like he's going to be a dominant interior guy, no doubt about it.
That stood out for real. Just watching the practice and then the game tape on him, I think he actually looked better inside than on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Drew D makes a great point here, as he says. Sorry, buddy. He said he had 32-inch arms, so offensive tackle is going to be tough with that length. That's a great point. It is. It's 32 even too. 6'5", 312, but 32-inch arms. But then on the flip side, 26 reps is enough to play interior. 26 bench reps. His vertical jump, Tim. You ready for this? At 6'5", 312 pounds, Dre Zable's vertical jump was 36.5 inches.
Holy cow!
With a 9.95, his broad jump
with that dude on the basketball court, man.
Yeah, broad jump was 903 at 895 is what it scored. So he's got an incomplete RAS, but man, he can jump out.
I get what Drew's saying too with the
absolutely.
The shorter arms. Tackle might be a little tougher with that arm length at the pro level, but again, like Mike Wall always says, right? It's from the ground up, right? If you've got good footwork, you got a solid base under you, and you can play well with your feet. You can kind of make up that difference. They said Bach had short arms too. I always bring that up. We heard the same thing about David Bakhtiari, and arguably one of the best left tackles ever to play in Green Bay. So, if your technique is right and you're able to use your footwork to win in the trenches, you can get away with it. But I would agree with Drew, though. I think he's better on the inside for sure.
Yeah. Let's see what John Smith says here. He says Packers have drafted a lot of short arm O-linemen, though. He said Tom, Morgan, Balaga, Bach. Balaga's definitely were. I didn't realize the rest of them were, though. That's pretty wild. I definitely take your word for it there, John. Emilio, look at this guy. Said he had class tonight.
He has no class.
Yeah. He says punch length from roll of shoulder to bottom of palm of hand. I'm going to pretend like I know what that means, Emilio. That's all I got. That's all I got. Bakhtiari, 34-inch arms for context. So 2 inches longer for Bach than Dre Zable.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
There you go. All right, guys, that's going to do it. This is a lot of fun. Tim, we covered a lot, bro. Balaga had 33-inch arms, so there you go. So Zable's is actually shorter than Balaga's, and they gave him a hard time on it. So
all you Bakhtiari fans, get to the pro shop too. All the Bakhtiari jerseys are on clearance right now. I was up there earlier today. Go and get you a 50% off elite jersey there at the pro shop.
There you go. 2-0 for this says it's 25-inch arms too small to play tackle. Asking for a friend. All right. Tim, you got anything else?
High school, right? High school, that'll work.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me? Bro, we had people 170 pounds playing guard in high school. It's hilarious. We sucked, though. We sucked pretty bad. So.
Love it.
I wasn't allowed to play football. I was a baseball player, and my coach would not let me play football, and it devastated me, man. Got talked into it by the high school coach to play receiver my senior year, and baseball coach caught wind of it and nipped that in the bud. So,
got to protect your players, right?
Yeah, I guess you do. All right. Anything else, Bub?
I think that's it. I think we covered a lot. Sorry, I threw like 9 other corners into the conversation earlier.
Bro,
but
that's the stuff I want, man. I'm telling you, that's the best content. It's just us spitballing and kind of going through the draft board and trying to find these guys that we like. And I want to be very, very clear, everybody hearing my voice. The draft board that we've created please don't take that as gospel. I'm not saying, hey, you've got to agree with this. This is how I build a draft board, right? And Emilio's helped me this year, and Tim and everybody's been giving input. This is the PTA big board. Don't get me wrong, but you guys, man, let us know if you disagree. That board isn't the gospel. It's been pretty damn good the last few years. It's been a lot of fun, kind of watching it unfold as the draft happens, and we're always trying to tweak it as much as we can. But yeah, please don't feel like that's something that is set in stone for everyone, right?
Yep.
I bet you don't know what the gospel is, fam. You
Chiefs fan, you.
Yeah. We'll find you at the draft and douse you with holy water, sir. So, all right, that's it, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Again, check out the Patreon group. All those articles up in there. Appreciate everybody joining us. It's blowing up. Cool community. And we're trying to steer everything in that direction because we want to make sure everybody has got ties to us and getting the best bang for your buck. If you're hearing my voice and you're a member here on YouTube and you're more comfortable with that, that's totally cool. You're entered in the giveaways as well. I just want to make sure everybody knows that being a member of the Patreon group for $3, you get a lot more. And it's kind of cool to have everybody in there where we can communicate. And we're going to do some really creative stuff this year. I'm excited. I've been doing a lot of brainstorming. So, and as my wife would tell you, that doesn't happen often. So, all right, everybody have a good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central for PTA Live. More draft breakdown. We'll hit the offensive line. We may hit some edge defenders as well. It's going to be a good time. So everybody have a great night. Y'all take care.
And we go. We out.
Bye, guys.